Right guys, welcome to the 2020 roundup. I've got my cup of tea ready and I don't know how long this will go on, but let's go through what we've done this year. Now, first of all, what I want to talk about first, and I will only talk about this for a few, for a small amount of time, then we'll get onto other stuff, but I'll leave a message at the top here. Basically, I am asking for donations this year. I don't normally do this, but I want to go through how basically it works from my point of view, for money wise, and what I'm trying to do and why I don't charge. So people are saying, Anthony, get on Patreon. Anthony, set up a membership scheme where you get more money in, or like, for example, we have Natoryu. You have a one-off membership payment of literally about $15, and half of that goes to the monastery. Some of it comes to me, some of it goes to Miyako. And basically that's for life then, and we don't charge for Natoryu unless you do the individual courses and you can buy a course. But on the whole, you could be a student of Natoryu for free for the rest of your life from that one-off payment, because I don't believe in annual charges or you've got to pay this upkeep and that. I'm like, no, that's not really what I want to do. And people say to me, Anthony, get on Patreon because you'll get more money in and all that, and I'm like, no. And the reason I don't want to do that is because my number one aim in life basically is to get the history of the ninja out to you. So history of ninja and samurai. So my question is, what do the samurai and ninja really do? What do they actually do? And I want to get that to as many people as possible. I want to make a good living from that. At the moment, I make a living, but I'll be honest with you, it's a little bit of a churn and a difficulty at times. So there's certain things I want to do. For example, I want to get back to Japan. So I'd like to ask anyone out there who wants to donate, can you please donate? As I say, information will be coming down. It should be on the screen. And basically I want to get a microphone for this. I want to get some training swords from America and some training gear, which is expensive, to do some swordsmanship videos when COVID eventually bloody stops. So let's start looking at swordsmanship. People have asked me, when are you doing swordsmanship? Well, we're in the middle of COVID. I can't do it. I need a studio to go to film it because I've only got my cramped house. So I live in an old cottage, which is what I wanted to do, but you can't live now in it. You know what I mean? Frying, you can't even toss a pancake in it because you bloody pancake will hit the ceiling, because they're all built for midgets, the midget Welsh. So what I do at the end of the year, I normally ask my Natoryu students to donate, and I've done this for about 4 or 5 years now, and basically they all donate at the end of the year. And what I do is list everybody who's donated. I keep a record of everything, and then I send them a card back. So it normally costs me about £3 to send a card out. So if people donate, say £10 to me, then I send them a Christmas card out, which around the world it can get expensive. So basically out of the £10, I get about £7 and they get £3 because I send a card back to say thank you, I sign it and all that malarkey. So if you want to donate, any amount will do. The smallest amount, no problem. A larger amount, no problem. That would be amazing. It would help me. As I say, I want to get some training gear and some swords. We're talking hundreds of dollars here just for the swords, a microphone, and if possible, a plane trip to Japan and some hotels, basically, because there's loads of things I want to search. Now, we can do it on PayPal through anthonycummins.co.uk. Please, excuse me, drink here. Please be careful of the email address used. I do not have the normal spelling of the name. I'm not Anthony, I'm Antony, and I'm not Cummings, I'm Cummins, and there's a J in the middle. So please, please, please just copy and paste it from the pinned post here, and that will make it much better for me. Now, if you do send me a donation, then basically, can you make sure you put your address on it, and that address is going to be there for next year, you know what I mean? And I will, and make sure you say where you're from. If you're USA, for some reason USA people don't think the world exists, they just put, this is my address, and you're like, in which country? And they go, of course America. And you're like, because you're the only country in the world. And you must know how people, Americans, go, what do you mean? And I've had people literally say, should you put America? You don't put America at the bottom. Don't put USA. Like you do when you talk to the rest of the world, America. It's my pet peeve. So basically, guys, if you donate, please put your address in. I'll keep them all for next year, and I will write you all a letter back, and I'll keep a record of who donated, and next year I'll say who's donated. I won't reveal the amounts, but I'll put whoever did the most at the top. So please do, I know it's going on a bit, but I'll be on to other stuff in a minute. Donate and help me. If you're a Natoryu student and you've already donated, you don't need to donate to Natoryu again. That's it. If you want to donate to Anthony Cummins, absolutely fine, no problem. But beyond that, no, Natoryu students are separate. So make sure you either say it's for Anthony Cummins' YouTube channel or Natoryu, and the money goes to separate accounts. So I do separate things with it. So that's the end of my begging for money. He's there, please. So bowl in hand. Oh, what's he called? Come on. Please, sir, can I have some more? Oliver. So there's Oliver. It just helps me, guys, because in truth, flying to Japan costs possibly about the same amount as my annual mortgage. So, you know what I mean? It can be about £5,000 to get to Japan. It's £1,000 flight ticket, days, a month in hotels or a month around, trips everywhere. It can be getting up to the same amount I pay in my mortgage per year just to fly to Japan. So now I have like pay for my own house. It's just stops the Japan trips a lot more of, you know, they've pulled down. So any help from you will help me pay a little bit more in Japan and order some more scrolls. Right, guys, so that's it. 5 minutes on that. Let's do it. That's done. So I'll leave it up here for you to donate if you want to. Don't worry. If not, just get it for free. Okie dokie. Right. I've tried to answer everyone's question this year. So people have been asking me questions. On the whole, when I look at the comments, I see a question, I'll say, I can't answer that, I'm sorry. Or I'll say, I'll do a video on that. And I've done every single video bar 2. And those, 3. And those are basically the Black Myth Wukong. I was like, I'll look for you, but I have no idea what Black Myth Wukong is. It turns out it's a computer game, and I have no idea about it, so sorry I can't do a video on that. And Seiko, the video game, I think it's Seiko, I've not played it. I will be doing one on Seiko when I can finally get to Jay Kane's house to sit and play it with him, because I don't have a console like that. I think I've got a PlayStation 2, and all it does is play Blu-rays for me, because I've tried it. Not for me. So I'm just useless at that sort of stuff. So, and the other one is the Tom Cruise. People repeatedly ask me for the Tom Cruise video, and I think I'll do it, but it's Last Samurai. Like, do a review of Last Samurai, do a review of Last Samurai. Why? It's crap. You know, it's all right, but it's a crap. I'll do it, guys. Right, so they're the 3 videos that I've not done. The rest of them I have done. Okie dokie. And I literally write notes, guys, of all the videos I've got to do. I don't keep a track of who's asked me because it starts to get a bit too overcomplicated, and I just keep a note of what I've done. Right, I have to own up to a mistake I made in the Twisting Martial Arts video. But fortunately, the mistake proved my point. So in the Twisting Martial Arts video, I talked about the word martial arts and how it's got multiple meanings. And I used the word martial, M-A-R-S-H, martial, like a marshal, and martial, M-A-R-T-I, you know, for martial arts. And I gave you the dates of origin of martial, the word for martial arts, which was the 1530s, and then martial arts was 1909. But I read out the makeup, the origin of the word martial, as in M-A-R-S-H-A-L-L or L, whatever it's double L. Can't remember which way around it is, but that one. And it doesn't change the video. Basically, in fact, it supports the video. Is 2 words that sound the same, don't have the same meanings. Well, they're close meanings, but they don't have the same. So I'd taken that video about 3 or 4 times because I'd made some mistakes, and I thought, I'll just start again, Anthony. And well, it actually wasn't mistakes, if I remember rightly. It was actually me harping on for ages. I was like, oh, it's too long, this, Anthony. Stop, delete, do it again. So what I'd done is I'd marked up the martial and martial, and I opened the wrong one and read the wrong thing. But it absolutely proves the point, 100%, that you can't take the same sounding word, same spelt word, same sounding word, and mix them up and make an argument out of it and say, well, that martial is the sounds the same as that martial, therefore we do martial. You're like, it proves the point. So I was like, thank you for... Sometimes when I make mistakes, they're absolutely genius, because, not from me, from someone up there who just goes, make a mistake, Cummins, and prove your point. So that's wonderful. Right, okay, guys, that's that. 2020, what a wasted year. I don't normally try and put personal opinions on. I don't personally I don't give personal opinions or beliefs. I don't give my religious beliefs. I don't give anything like that. But in fairness, 2020 has been a nightmare year. It's been crap. This COVID is a load of crap. I'm not a disbeliever. It's the flu. It's like, we've got some flu. Have you? Right. Give it another word. So it's like, this year, 50,000 people died of the flu and pneumonia. Doesn't sound that much different to me to the rest of the other years. I've looked at the charts for the death rates. The death rates... I looked at a channel called History Debunked, and he's excellent. Simon Webb, I think he's called. Excellent. I really love his channel. And basically, because he tells it as it is, it's not like anti this and anti that. He's not white supremacy this and anti. He's just like, this is history. Don't mess with history. This is history. And of course, Alex Belfield, I listen to a lot because he's the voice of reason. If you don't follow Alex Belfield, voice of reason, do. And History Debunked. He just gives it straight with facts and actual facts, not swaying or skewing the facts, but what's actually happening. And basically, History Debunked shows, he says, here's your curve of deaths. And we're already on an up curve because of population increase, etc. But population percentage-wise, we're actually down. So yes, there are more deaths than last year. But when you look at it over a 20-year span, it's exactly where it should be. There are no real extra deaths. Yes, people have died of COVID. Yes, people have died of the flu. But they did last year, they will next year, and they'll die the year before. The only difference, in my opinion, in what I can see from the science, is that they don't have a vaccination for this type of flu. Okay, and 99.5% of people survive it. And they crushed the economy for that. Okay, they stopped everyone meeting, everyone who's healthy, because some old people died of pneumonia. Well, just lock up the old people in their houses and let the young people get the flu. Who cares? I think I have had it. I think I had it at the beginning. I've never tested myself for it. I've not got I'm not having the vaccine for it. Unless I need to travel. Basically, they might stop travel to Japan. And if I get enough donations off you guys and get to Japan, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and I get it. But on the whole, it's the flu. Get over it. Let's go crack on. Of course, we've had Black Lives Matter. What a bloody debacle that was. It's ridiculous. Trying to drag up incorrect history to force an opinion on what should happen. So this always makes me angry. I'm like, when they talk about slavery and black slavery, I'm like, really? Well, did you talk to the Romans? You know what I mean? It's like, how ridiculous and crazy is this? The Romans, you know, enslaved all of Britain. I'm not angry. I've got an Italian friend. And we have fun. I'm not angry at him. Not pulling his statues down. Crack on. Just have some friends. We are all individual people who exist on this planet, and we're all individuals. And it doesn't matter if you're black, white, yellow, brown, orange, green, purple, whatever colour you are. Be nice to people. Don't be a dick in life. And try to leave the world with something a bit better than what you came in with it. And try to look after yourself. Be healthy, but enjoy yourself. Enjoy what you eat, enjoy what you drink, but, you know, tone it down a bit. And basically have a nice time and be nice to people. Simply going round declaring entire races are terrible is like, what? It's like, but what it did show me this year, it showed me two things. Humans have not evolved enough yet to be left to their own devices, in the sense of, here's a community, go and enjoy yourself with, you know, inside job without laws. We can't do it. So once they've laxed, because we've become the very so this is the problem. So I know this is getting personal, but these are my personal beliefs. So first of all, we're tribal societies, yeah, we're tribal families. And clearly men are stronger than women by a long shot. I know they always do. They bring out Olga the Barbarian and Mr. Muscle, the wimpy guy, and then say, look, they're not. And you're like, actually they are. Men are totally stronger than women on the average. Nobody denies this unless you're a complete fool. So men took power in tribal societies. There are almost no or very little examples of matriarchies. And people start shouting, but actually people have studied this, and most matriarchies are backed up by a patriarchal actual society, you know, beyond it. But anyway, the point is 99.9999% of society is based on male dominance. Even in the past, when you had a lovely sort of almost equality between females, it was always men who took the post. That's just because humans are not amazing, are they? They're a bit crap, they're a bit shit, and men took over and sort of beat women and doing all that. Right, so, but eventually we've locked the laws in so that can no longer happen. But we've crossed, in 2020, we've crossed from the laws creating a nice, safe society for people to now we're a society where people can just have a go at other people and there's no comebacks. When I was a young lad, 20 years ago, if you were a bit of a dick in society, you got your head kicked in, and the coppers would do it for you. Like the police 20 years ago, where you give you a belt and get you in the back of the van and belt you. Now, there's no chance, and everybody's going mad. I'm not saying that's the correct way to go, but what I'm saying is humans are not at a level where they can be left without rules. It's like 2020 is the first year that proves this. So the rules have locked us into a position where everybody's free to do whatever we want. Statues are pulling down graffiti, let's burn it, let's just like, okay, rules, put them back, and put some strict rules back. So then on the other hand, they've over strict rules on the COVID where it's no freedom. So you've given something, and next thing is freedom. Suddenly like, no, you can't do that. And it's just proven, guys, we are in the least free society. Well, not the least free, there's plenty more lesser free societies than us. But we're not as free as you think. We live in a prison. So society, so people do not want, you should never want freedom. That is the thing you don't want. Freedom means that nobody messes with what you do, so therefore you end up back in tribal society where the biggest, roughest gang of lads will literally rape whoever they want, take whoever they want. That's freedom, okay? What you want is society, which is a locked prison, but for you, of rules. So where if a group of lads come along, the people within the rule system will fight them off, and then we just build up governments, nuclear armaments, and it's the same big thing. China's having a bullet, okay, we'll bully them back, because they do. Somebody in your area is having to go, the coppers come because they're the biggest gang, and throw them out. And it works, that's how society works. But the moment it's gone and it's too complex, it breaks. So, as I think it's Lao Tzu says, Lao Tzu, if you're going to cook a fish, don't mess about with it. Cook it. Have a set rules. There's a pan, there's a time you need to cook it, you need to turn it 1 to 2 times, that's it. That's how rules and government should work. Don't over interfere with people or you get chaos. And don't under interfere with them, because otherwise you never cook your fish. Rules from the ancient times, quoted here. So, right, there we go. So basically, I'm sure I've probably lost track now of where I was. There was another one I was mentioning, but I've probably totally forgotten it. Anyway, so tea time. So basically, oh, and the other one is we're not enlightened. That was it. The other one is we're not enlightened enough to have enough free time to ourselves. I used to think, why is the world set up so people have to work so much? Like literally, you're working, your days weren't working. Now, we gave people the 2020 off for COVID, and what a stupid idea that was. Everyone stay at home and have all the time off. I thought, oh, people will build model railways, they'll sort of like build model aeroplanes, they'll paint, they'll learn the violin, they'll do all sorts, you've got all this free time. I didn't get that. I still have to work because I work from home, so nothing changed for me except all the good bits of life were thrown away. Where everybody else has been locked down with no work to do. And I thought, oh, humans will do that. Oh no, they spent most of their time on social media, joining some either Black Lives Matter or the vegetarian campaign and scrolling into restaurants and screaming at people and pulling statues down and graffitiing things and burning things. I'm like, yep. Don't give people free time. They're not ready for it. So they are clearly not ready for free time yet. There are a few of us who are ready for free time. I have free time and I built up a back catalogue of 20 books and I've got tons of stuff going. I've got 1,000 videos, 2,000, I don't know. So many videos. I've got articles out there in magazines and interviews, other interviews on YouTube. And that's how I've spent my time and I've created something. So when I die, people will remember, oh, there was that random small author, Anthony Cummins, who changed the way everybody thinks about the ninja. And that was my part in the history of the world. So there'll be some footnote somewhere in some books. In the 21st century, Anthony Cummins changed the way we believed about Japanese espionage in the 1500s. You know, not world-shattering, but at least I did something that was a little more. I also love to paint, and I've stopped painting as much as I actually was all right at painting at one point, but everything's come down because I'm so busy with books. And you guys literally demanding new books, which I'm not complaining about. I will give you as many new books as I can. So most of my day is spent doing that. And then I just like vegetate at the end of the day going, you know, break, I need a break. So I should take a bit more time off. Actually, bringing that, what's become a problem now is answering all the comments on YouTube. I've closed Facebook down because it's the biggest waste of time in my life. And Martial Arts Planet and all that, and doing all I should have just totally ignored all that. I should have just focused on YouTube. So now I focus on YouTube. I'm possibly going to get rid of Instagram. I'm going to get rid of my Instagram messages because I spend most of my Friday messaging. Then the next person messages, and it's just, I actually would, I've told you this before, I would get another small book a year out if I didn't have to answer all the comments on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and all that. If I actually could get rid of the comment section on all my social media or the interaction, I could get you another book out every year. But then people are like, I'm not big enough as a popular author enough that I don't need to do that. So I'm caught in this tide where I've really made a name for myself. I'm there. People are buying my books. I'm getting emails with fan mail. People are loving it. I'm changing the way people think about ninja. But it's not at that next stage. That's why I did that tarot card reading the other week. And not at that stage where it's pushed up where I can go, okay, now we can shut all that down, shut this down, upload the video, you know, either leave the comments as they are and let you guys have your speak, but I've got to then crack on with another book because I can just sit back, relax, the books are selling, and I can maybe do a better video once per week with pay someone to edit it and all that. That's the next stage I'm trying to get to, where I could pay JK, I could film it on a Monday, pay JK to edit it over the week with all the pictures. He can do all the searching, put it all in, spend his time. He gets some extra cash. I can then do another book a year for you guys. The publisher will pick up another book a year for me because there'll be no problem. But at the minute, we're just on that stuck. We're just stuck there. It's like other people where I started was here. The rest are still down here. And I just can't push that next barrier through. Natoriu's doing really well. 2020, so we're not really done anything, to be fair. It's not been very good in the sense of we've got some wonderful stuff going on. We've got some new instructors, but nobody can do anything. I would love to get into Japanese swordsmanship, and by get into, I mean get into doing it with you guys. And so you can see I've got 2 splendid videos set for next year, but I need to buy the training protective gear, these HEMA style Japanese swords, and I'm going to help support the guy's channel who's building them and all of that. And if I can get that done, then basically I can start doing some more sword videos. But I need COVID to sod off. I need the flu. You know, who's going to get rid of the flu? We're not, so crack on, guys. When COVID first hit, I was like that. Okay. So I love, there's a piece of knowledge from the Hagakure which says, if society goes crazy, stay inside. Don't go into it. Just wait. Get your food. Get whatever you need. Then just enjoy your house. And I did that at first. I was like, okay, think first. Pestilence, pandemic, whatever you want. The plague. They were talking about bodies on ice in ice rinks and all sorts. And it was like, okay, stay in. Stayed in. No bodies. Death rate's the same as last year. And they're saying, oh yeah, but that keeps it down. Okay, it keeps it down, but they're saying now the death rate, the COVID is so spreading so fast because of all this, and it's spreading. So it's spreading the same speed as before we had lockdown or after, or what are you saying? So just go out now. Nobody's dying. Get out there. You know what I mean? Obviously people are dying, but it's old people dying of the flu, people with thingies. And my point being is, somebody pointed out once that it's on the rate of killers of the UK, it was something like 28th lowest of killers. And it was like, so getting in your car is far more dangerous than having the flu this year. But did they ban cars? No. So if the car kills more people, or alcoholism, or, you know, we haven't banned alcohol, we haven't banned cars, so why have we banned talking to each other outside, do you know what I mean? Or going in the supermarket without a mask on. I generally just put a scarf on. It's winter, got a scarf. Have you got your mask? Yeah, I've got a scarf, mate. Because it also says if I'm following Natoriu's teachings, which I want to do, it says follow the laws. But then there's a point where it's like, it's gone too far. And so follow the law. Yeah, I'm wearing a mask. I'm not going to wear one forever. Eventually, I'm going to be like, no, enough. But at the moment, we're in the middle of it. If it just continues and it's just a flu, I'm just going to say, arrest me. Arrest me. I've dealt with the cops twice now. So I've got a new girlfriend. And my new girlfriend's ex-husband, actually, is a bit of a turnip, to be fair. I've been nice to him. I've like chatted to him. I said, listen, mate, you know, but he's one of those that he's just, you know, someone who's absolutely wrecked their life. They just had a wonderful wife. They had 2 kids and they just pushed it. And they pushed it and pushed it and pushed it till the girl was like, and I'm done. And she stayed for 17 years and this guy just pushed it. And I was on his side. I was like, he must feel bad. You know, he's like, wife's left him and his kids left him. Now his kids love me. The girlfriend loves me. And he's just angry and bent and thingy. And you're like, if your life is going that way, so I've totally forgot where I was going with this now. Like, anyway, I'll think of something new. Just focus it. Just focus it. So basically, I forgot where I was going with that one, guys. I totally forgot. But basically, stick to your laws. Do it. But once it gets to a certain point, that's enough. Oh, no, that's it, though. So the police. So this guy phones the police every time. We're allowed support bubbles in England. It's ridiculous. But I live on this side of the border and she lives on that side of the border of Wales. But it's one nation. But England is divided to separate into 3 or 4 bloody governments. Wales is separate. England is separate. I think Scotland is separate and Ireland have different. Northern Ireland have different bloody things. So actually 5 with Republic of Ireland. And they're all choosing different things. But when you actually live in Wales and there's England, you just literally can cross the street. There isn't like a border. It's the other street and it's just an imaginary border that's there. And you're like, okay. So over there, they've got one set of rules on them. People, it's down the street. On that side, there's rules. On this side, there's different rules. So basically, she's my support bubble. I've gone onto my support bubble because I live alone. They've said anyone living alone can just go. And it doesn't matter how many are in the other household. You can go. Do it. Preferably close by, but we're not. But it says you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to. So coppers keep turning up. We've had an anonymous phone call. And yet this guy is saying to his own daughter, I'll phone the police on them. Anonymous phone call. And you just told your daughter what you've done. Turnip. And then basically, so I'm getting annoyed with this guy now. And what we've got, so I've had the coppers, and I'm like, well, what are you going to, you know, I've been always be polite to police. Yes, officer. No, officer. That's fine, officer. But then it's like, what are you going to do? No, nothing. We can't do anything. What are you here for? And you can see it in the copper's eyes. He's like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. Go and catch a burglar. Go and do something useful. And you can see the coppers are like, they're totally embarrassed. And I've got 2 police friends who are like, I'm not obviously there, but they were like, we have no idea what we're doing, Anthony. It's a civil matter. The laws don't match. We can't enforce this by legal rights. We've not got martial law. You know, the army are not out. So the police don't have these abilities, you know. And then, so you're like, everybody's so confused this year. They're like absolutely confused. The police are confused. We're confused. You've got people, that's why, you know, dobbing each other in. And it just came to the conclusion. 2020 has been an amazing year for understanding human society. I will now never think that humans should be given free reign of their own lives at the moment. There's too many people, there's not enough space, there's not enough resources, and people are just not clever enough. Do you know what I mean? There's a handful of people. So when it says, should there be a set top of people, in my opinion, yes. But the people at the top of the minute are not the right ones. We need to find a system where the people at the bottom, the people who are correct for the job, get to the top and actually make decisions. And I hate politics. I hate it. People talk to politics. I'm like that. Shh. Or you give them the doe eyes. Like, oh, I like that. Yes, Marine. So basically, but right now, next year, I'm going to vote, totally vote, and get somebody of competence in, because this was a ridiculous debacle about the flu and the Black Lives Matter stuff and the whatever, you know, the transgender lives and all that. And it was just like, there's no problem. No, I'm not even going to defend that statement. Not even going to defend it. People who pull down statues, burn people, burn things, kill people, and then shout at other people in restaurants and overturn tables, you don't need to be explained about. Sort yourself out. All right, guys. So basically, we're coming up to 30 minutes. I thought I'd give you a bit of a chat. So 2020 has been a naff year, but I'm happy because I've got a lovely new relationship. I've got stepkids, if you like, whatever you want to call them, my missus's kids, who are wonderful. I don't overstep my boundaries with them. They've got their own father, they've got their own mother, that they sort their rules out. I'm there for a bit of a laugh, bit of fun, go out for a day trip and all that, no problem. So hopefully that will keep going. I bought my first Christmas jumper, Star Wars Christmas jumper. If anybody wants to buy me a gift, oh, I do need to speak about gifts, actually. So if anybody wants to buy me a gift, I'd really like a Krampus woolly knit jumper. I love Krampus. Krampus. So, but basically, I've had gifts, and a long time ago, I think you can guess who I'm talking about here. I went to a martial arts dojo in Japan, and I saw a grandmaster who basically had so many gifts given to him over the years that he'd stopped caring about the gifts. And I watched this man, I watched a Western man, a white man, Western, all dressed up in his gear, go over with a present, and he had a nervous look on his face. He was introduced by a senior student, and he was like bowing, dead respectful, giving the gift over, and he was like that. And whenever you're given a gift, it don't matter how many gifts you've been given, pay attention to that gift. Open it up, look at it, and be like, and thank you. What you do with that gift after. But this man just took it and went like that. And the eyes on this guy, who was a man of about 45 at the time, and this was like 12 years ago. No, God, 15 years ago. He was devastated. And the master just went, yeah, take it. He didn't even clock, he didn't even know who he was. He was like, yeah, and then he walked, and he was like, oh, thank you. Then moved away. That was one of the biggest lessons in my life. Every gift I get, I write down who it is from. I've now got a book of gifts. I've been given wonderful gifts by Clarence Sheets. John Hayter sent me food when I needed it. My friends did when I was absolutely poor. When at one point, we had a sump in book sales, COVID had hit, and it just then kicked up again. But basically there was a few months where it was struggling, and they helped me out. And I've had gifts from, as I said, John Hayter, Andrew Throwburn keeps sending me gifts, Jay Kane sent me gifts, and all these gifts are getting written down. Stephen Crump got me bottles of port. All these gifts are written down, and I'm very thankful for them. Some of them I re-gift. I say to people, do you mind if I re-gift? Because I can't just keep hoarding gifts. And so when somebody's done something for me, I'll give them something back. And it's a bit of an exchange, Japanese style exchange. And I really, really now appreciate gifts given to me. And I write it all down because I want to record the goodness that was given to me. So no matter how many gifts I get in the future, which is nice of people to even think of doing, Krampus jumper, Krampus Christmas bell. I'm going to make a list. So I'm always thankful for it, and I always will be, because we all are here to learn in life, and I've learned a little bit more throughout 2020 about what you shouldn't do. So is it Confucius or Lao Tzu? I always get them too confused up with which one said who, but the master says you meet everybody you meet in life as a teacher. They're either someone you can learn from or someone you learn not to follow. And in 2020, I've learned how to not do a lot of things. And it was the same for my stepfather. I learned how to not do a lot of things from him. He was a good man in certain ways, but I've learned how to not do many things the way he did it. But some things I did do his way, and I've now understood certain things from him. So same with my grandfather, same with my actual father, same with my mother. Mother, you know, yes, mother. So I've learned how everybody you meet should be, do I learn from this person? Do I avoid what they do, or do I do this what they do but don't do what that way they do? It's the basics of like this Eastern philosophy. Is that what you do? Right, guys, we're at 30 minutes, and I know I've so let's just quickly talk about the channel. Basically, the channel has grown a little bit, but not really much, and my videos have grown, and my video retention rate has gone down, so but my money from the videos has gone up. So I don't understand YouTube. My subscribers are 24,000. The average views on a video is about 800. Probably most of them top about 1,000 or after a while. Some of them never get over 300 views, but many of them top 1,000 basically. So I have 24,000 people who decided to click I like Anthony Cummins. Only 1/24 of them actually watch. So actually you guys here with 30 minutes into a Christmas rant. So thank you very much. I don't mind. It's still going ahead. I've had the Shogunate, who has done some amazing videos for me. I've been working with Matthew Okuhara from Japan, who's done some great stuff. And I've worked with Kevin from Story Drive, who's got some great stuff. And I've really enjoyed that. And their videos have done really well for me. Like Shogunate and Story Drive, their videos have gone to 300,000. So this is the funny bit. Is I provided the information. It's the same information that I've provided before. 300,000. 300,000 hits. Literally both of them about 300,000 hits. And it was my information. And they've helped the Bansen Shukai rocket in sales, so which is wonderful. They both put the Bansen Shukai in their thingy. And even the publisher's like, where have these sales come from? And so I'm like, yes. Ninja, please. Do you know what I mean? So there we go. All right, guys, that's the end of my. So let's hope the channel goes up a bit. If you could donate, that would be wonderful. But please do put your name and address, and I will make sure that next year all the cards come to you. Do you know what I mean? And then but be specific and say this is a YouTube donation, a YouTube donation. Otherwise, I'll be like, is this a Nato review? Is this what are we doing with it? And I'll let you all know what we do. All right, guys. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Cheers to you all. Enjoy yourself. This is lemon and ginger tea, and nothing beyond that. So have a nice time, and let's look forward to some videos in 2021 and the end of the Kung Flu.